Hey, what's up everyone? It's Brian here from Exact IT Solutions. Welcome to another video where we educate you on cybersecurity, and today I want to talk about the 80 or so patches that Microsoft released this week on Tuesday in their notorious Patch Tuesday events that they have. There was a lot of patches in this particular set, and a lot more than we usually see, and a lot more patches that were deemed important or critical, and I want to go through one of those that are super important that you're going to want to make sure that your systems are patched today. So without further ado, let's jump into today's content. So what we're talking about here, folks, is a exploit that was, well, it's a vulnerability that Microsoft decided to patch. And I'm going to get into the details here in a second. Microsoft Defender 0 Day in January 2021 Patch Tuesday. So if you haven't updated your Windows systems yet, I would highly encourage you to do so. There has been reports about this particular bug that I'm going to talk about, that it has already been patched through Defender. But I want to point out why this is important, what you need to know, and what you need to do to make sure that you cannot get exploited. Because, you know, quite frankly, as you can see here in my threat map, there's a lot of activity today. And you know, there's been a lot of activity just this week in general, and I believe it's because this was released and hackers are now hoping that a lot of people don't update their systems, and they can, now that these exploits are out there, that they can try to exploit them. Now, the interesting one about this Windows Defender 0 Day is if you've received any kind of cybersecurity training or cybersecurity awareness training, you know that you're taught to make sure you don't open things and click on things, and so the system doesn't, you don't open something on the system that causes a problem. And usually we see that the end user is the reason that these exploits actually go down. They click on an email, they click on a link that they necessarily shouldn't have, and they have a problem. So what this interesting thing is that if you know anything about antivirus and how antivirus works and how something like Windows Defender works, a file that comes onto your system, so let's say you receive an email and that email has an attachment. Windows Defender is actually programmed to go in, and once that file is on your computer, it scans that file. And the process of scanning that file is also the same thing as opening the file. The software opens the file for you. And what's been discovered here, and why this exploit and the patching of it is so critical, is because Windows Defender can actually open the exploit and cause the problem. You have to do nothing. So somebody just has to get the file onto your computer, and then the exploit is able to be run through Windows Defender without you doing anything at all. So Microsoft has said that they've patched this. They've apparently patched it through Defender updates, which are released pretty much daily, sometimes multiple times a day, but they've also fixed it in a patch that was included in last Tuesday's update. So make sure you go to your system update, you run it, and you make sure that you're fully up to date and that the date is current, that's up there. Make sure you at least checked with today's date on it, which is January 15th. 2021. So just make sure that your systems are up to date. This is a really important patch, and there was a lot of important patches in this update. I'm not going to go into those today because they're very technical, but I can tell you this. There's a very important thing on Windows systems called RPC, and it does a lot of things on Windows systems that are really important, and they patched a lot of things in those areas. Now, mind you, we're also coming off the heels of the SolarWinds attack, and we know Microsoft was a client of SolarWinds and used the Orion product. So it's also intriguing that there's a lot of patches around this RPC the very patch Tuesday after the SolarWinds attack. I'm not saying that they're related. I don't know if they're related. I have no evidence of that. I just find it intriguing that they would patch this one particular area of Windows that's very critical without giving us much detail behind it and what it fixes and what it does. So, you know, I'm reading between the lines for sure, but we know that Microsoft said hackers access their software, and then they come out and they patch all these things on this one particular thing. So if at any point in time you needed to update your Windows systems, it's right now, because none of these vulnerabilities have technically been exploited, but there is the potential now, and when this stuff is out in the wild, then that's when the hackers go to town, because now they have more information. Now they know that this exploit does exist. More hackers are able to do it, because if hackers did not know about this exploit until this was made public, and you don't patch your systems, you are exploitable. Microsoft patched the exploit, so that's how they are preventing any further damage being done. But there's going to be tens of thousands of systems out there that have this vulnerability that aren't patched, and that's important to know. So that's it for me today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope it was enlightening. If it was, hit the like button, and would you please consider subscribing to our channel. We put videos out like this for free. We don't charge for it. We don't ask for any donations or Patreon stuff. We just ask that you would please just like and subscribe to our channel and share our stuff out on your social media to spread the word about our channel. That would be really awesome of you. And that's it for me for today, folks. I will see you on the other side. Enjoy your weekend. See you soon.